Hey guys, welcome to SubHub Grading. Today we're going to be doing a monster card. We're going to be working on a Mike Trout 2009 Bowman Chrome autograph rookie card. So this card is a very expensive card, and this grade really kind of hurts it because of that 8 auto. So if you're looking at it towards a monetary value, um, the 8 auto really does hurt this card value wise. So looking at the subs, we've got 9 centering, 9 5 edges, 9 corners, and 9 surface. The owner of this card would like to crack it out and send it to PSA. There is a little bit of risk involved here. There always is when you're cracking out cards. One being that when it was graded, it might have been graded by someone who was lenient on the grades, and something that was borderline 9 could have been an 8 or an 8.5. The other problem is when it's regraded, it could be graded by someone who's much more strict. And if that borderline 9 turns into an 8 or an 8.5, it changes the whole overall value of the grade. So you want to be very careful when you're crossing over and when you're cracking out. I usually would recommend that you do a crossover on this type of card. And in fact, the owner of this card already tried that. We sent this card to PSA with a um, minimum 9 grade. Just card only, not an auto grade, just the card. The auto grade on here got an 8 because not just because of that streak, but there's an actual fingerprint. Could be Mike Trout's fingerprint, which is cool. But there is a fingerprint that you can't really see in this photo, but you can see where it's light right here. It starts right there. The rest of the auto's dark, like right there. All the way up to the top of the tee, it looks like there's a fingerprint right there. And you can see it under the scope. You can see the actual uh, fingerprint. So that is why the auto got such a low grade of an 8. And as you can tell by the serial number, it wasn't graded too long ago, maybe a year or so ago, um, but it's still a fairly recent serial number after this card had already gained popularity and value. So that's always a good sign. When you find cards that are, let's say, a card that wasn't worth a lot of money back in the day, had like a let's use Larry Fitzgerald. If you find a Larry Fitzgerald rookie card that was graded and the serial number is like 000496789, it might not have been graded as harsh as the same card that's sent in today. Now that he's a future Hall of Famer, he has a lot of people that collect his cards. His cards are worth more money in the raw position or even graded. That doesn't matter. The fact is that the card is worth more today than it was back when he was a rookie. And unfortunately, companies grade those cards a little bit more strict. You might hear people say it should not be graded that way. It should be an unbiased. If you got a 9, you got a 9. If you got a 10, you got a 10. Unfortunately, that's not the way that it works. If you send in a Derek Jeter or a Mike Trout rookie card, it's going to be graded a little bit harder than any other player in this set. Whether it's BGS, PSA, SGC, any of the grading companies are going to grade it a little bit tougher just because it's an iconic card. So now that that's out of the way, we are going to crack this bad boy out and hopefully get a PSA 9. I know it's a big risk, It's a big risk with a big reward to get rid of this 8 auto. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going. Let me go ahead and grab a couple gloves. This is an awesome card. This is probably my all-time favorite card of the modern era. I have owned a few in my life, but sold them when I needed money to help the family out. And unfortunately, they keep going up, so I haven't been able to get my hands on another one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this bad boy out and take a look at it. So again, we're just going to put our dikes up in this corner up here, just like that. We're going to apply massive pressure as bits and pieces go flying everywhere. You see all this on here. You want to make sure that you get all that off your mats before you do any type of cleaning. We'll keep it up there, that's fine. Now that we got that chunk out, we're going to go ahead and move our screwdriver through. And then we're going to go ahead and cut the top very carefully. And if you hear this noise, this is the noise that you'll hear when you're trying to open up this little seal that BGS puts on there. Just like that. Now it's completely open, and we could just slide it up from the bottom gently and remove it from the sleeve. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at this card. Let me get some closer light over here. So looking at the surface, you can see there's a little bit of dander, a little bit of like Bowman chrome dust or whatever you want to call it over in this area right here. Which is very common. So even if you are cracking out a card, you always still want to make sure that you go over the surface, the edges, and the corners just to make sure that there's nothing left from the person that graded it the first time. Because a lot of times you'll find that dust. You can also find fingerprints and all sorts of things left by the graders. As careful as they try to be, there are still times that you will see stuff on there. So I see just a little something down here in the black. Again over here. Other than that, the surface looks pretty good. I don't see any surface lines, anything like that. There is a little imperfection in the blue right up here in the corner. You see that right there? It's like right in the corner, right where it starts to go down. Excuse me, down. There's just a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a print defect or what, but it's just a little white mark right above my foot, right there. So we got that. We got some surface dust we're going to wipe off, and then we'll take a look at the back here. It's always good to run your card under the light, um, every angle possible, so that you can find any um, divots or indents, which are very common on Chrome cards, very common on all cards, really. Um, they come from the factory like that. They can happen from mishandling. It can happen from cards that are laying down and someone has a piece of paper on top and they write on the paper, didn't realize there was a card underneath. It can happen through a top loader. So it's just really something you want to look out for, and be careful when you're buying on eBay, because a lot of these cards look perfect, centered perfect, front surface looks great. You get it and the back has an indent on the back. So it's really, really common. You just want to be very careful. So I don't see any indents on the back, which is a great sign. I'm going to go ahead and look at these corners with my scope. So give me 1 second. Corners look really, really good. There is one corner with a minor issue that shouldn't be a problem. In the front, front corners look good as well. So, okay. So we're just going to go ahead and just wipe this down. We're going to use the hot breath method, which is kind of like you're cleaning your sunglasses. I've seen some videos of people that are doing this method, but they're using paper towels. Um, that is something I would stay very clear from. Paper towels have fibers in them. As you know, paper is made from wood, and wood has little fibers. So paper towels, toilet paper, even Kleenex can potentially scratch the surface of a card. So you want to be very careful. I use microfiber. You do have to be careful of the corners and edges, as if you have a card with rough edges, it can catch. So you want to be very careful around corners and edges with microfiber. But for me, and I am very careful when I do this, I use the microfiber. It tends to grab more of the dirt and grime that's on the card. Um, and sometimes it can take multiple times going over and over to make sure that you get it, but that is the method that I'm going to use for this card. So here we go. I'm just going to apply a decent amount of pressure. You don't want to press too hard, especially when you're holding it in your hands like this, because it's very easy that if you press too hard, you can bend the card and actually crease the card. So you want to be very careful and apply the right amount of pressure. If you're going to lay the card down, you want to make sure that you are on a clean, smooth surface. You do not want anything under your card. If you lay that down on a piece of plastic or piece of sand even, it will make an indent on the back of your card. Alright, so now we've got that bowman chrome dust or dander is gone off this card. this top mark up here, when I was looking through the scope, I saw that it is an actual manufacturer defect, so it's nothing that can be fixed, but it's not bad enough that it's going to really affect the grade too much. The biggest concern I have for this card is centering. Centering, it was given a 9 by BGS, and to me, that's pretty gracious. It looks at least like an 8.5 and possibly an 8 to the wrong grader. So, the fact that it's going to PSA is really going to factor on this centering. Being an iconic card like this, there is a chance that this card could get an 8. And that would basically be solely on centering, in my opinion. The back is nicely centered, so that does help, but the front is obvious right to left centering. Top to bottom looks okay, but that right to left. Hopefully it can pass and get a 9. That is the ultimate goal here. I think it has a shot as long as the centering can pass through PSA. So this is our card today. Again, it's a Mike Trout Bowman Chrome 2009 rookie autograph prospect card. And man, she is a beauty. Once we get it in our extra thick soft sleeve, we're going to go ahead and put it in to a Card Saver 1 and get this ready to show for PSA. This card, the value that it is, will have to go in a 1-day service, which is over $5,000 value. It can go in a 2-day, but they will upcharge you as soon as it's graded, so it might be the better play, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe go 2-day and just pay the upcharge as it comes, because raw, this card is probably worth around 4,000. Graded, it's probably worth about 5,000. So we might go 2-day on this and then take any upcharges as they come. Hopefully we get a nice upcharge on this one. This is our Mike Trout 2009 Bowman Chrome. Thanks for watching SubHub Sports Cards. Hope you learned something from this video. Please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button on the channel. We'd love to have you. New members, if you want to get in our group subs, you're welcome to join us on our Facebook group. There should be a Mike Trout circle with his autograph, almost just like this card, sitting in the center of your screen. Hit that. It'll take you to the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified for new videos. Thanks for watching. SubHub Sports Cards. I'm out.